Hello everyone and welcome back to the new session of the chapter Time Value of Money. I am CA Gaurav Chopra and welcome you all on the behalf of CA Institute ICAI. So today the session is completely based on the topic compound interest. In the first session we completed simple interest and this session is completely based on compound interest. So welcome everyone. Let us check who all are live with me now. Pooja Patel, Sanjay Kamath, Manas Rathi, Devjit Sharma. Welcome everybody. And all others, those who are live with me, can comment and let me know that you are with me now. So we have Sarvas Vasani, Asha, Diksha, Malay, Bharat Kulkarni, Ashish Kumar, Bibu Pandey, Harshda Yadav, Arshdeep, Rahul, Keshav Kothari. Welcome everyone and very good afternoon. So in today's session, we are completely going to discuss the compound interest, the one of the most challenging topic of the chapter. So in this topic, we have to learn basically most of the calculator tricks, how to solve most of the questions using our calculator, how to use less buttons for more calculations. So in this session, we are going to discuss all these things. So some more are with us now. Ishan, Shalini, then Gareja, Varun, Viresh, Varda Fatima, Meenakshi, Arthur, Mohammed Sahil Khan, Sadia, then Mohammed Ethasam, Chirag, Srinidhi, Mehak Pratik, Itisha, Prashant, great. Hariom, okay, and lot more. So let us begin today's session. So first of all, what is the main difference between simple and compound interest? In simple interest, the term itself says the system is very simple. Every time the interest is paid on the same principal, the original principal. Whereas in compound interest, the interest is paid on the opening balance of every year. In compound interest, the interest is payable on the opening balance of every year. So let us discuss this with one simple example. So let us say we are having 1 lakh rupees. So we are investing 1 lakh rupees. In first year, what will happen? So 1 lakh is the invested amount, which we can say it is principal. Rate of interest. Let's say the rate of interest is 10%. So 10% of 1 lakh is how much? 10,000. It is 10,000. So what will be the final amount? Final amount will be principal plus interest. So at the end of 1 year, we will be having 1,10,000 rupees. Now, first of all, we are talking about simple interest, which we had discussed. Simple interest. So 1 lakh was the invested amount, 10,000 is the interest earned, and the total becomes 1,10,000. In second year, what will happen? The principal will remain same. Always the principal is same. Now, interest will be again calculated on the same principal, that is 1 lakh. So 10% of 1 lakh is 1,10,000 and total amount after 2 years is 1,20,000. In case of third year again, interest will be again calculated on the same figure, that is 1 lakh, that is 10,000, and the amount will be 1,30,000. So at the end of 3 years, what will happen? The principal is 1 lakh, total interest earned is 30,000, and we will be getting in total 1,30,000 from the bank. So if we had invested 1 lakh rupees at the rate of 10% for 3 years in simple interest system, then we will be getting 1,30,000 back, inclusive of principal and interest. But if it was compound, then what will happen? So let's check in case of compound interest. First is the principal. So in first year, the principal which we are having is 1 lakh. Rate is again the same, 10%. So 10% of 1 lakh is 10,000. And what will be the amount? The amount will be 1 lakh 10,000 at the end of the year. Now here comes the twist. Now what is the twist? The twist is, in case of compound interest, interest is payable on the opening balance of every year. So now the amount of first year, or we can say the amount at the end of first year, becomes the principal for next year. The amount which is available at the end of first year becomes the principal in the beginning of second year. So now this is the principal, and on this principal we have to calculate the interest. So 10% of 1,10,000 is 11,000, and what will be the amount? The amount will be 1,21,000. 1,21,000. And what will happen in case of third year? Now the principal will become 1,20,000 and interest will be payable on this 1,21,000. So 10% of 1,21,000 is 12,100. And what will be the total? It will be 1,33,100. 1,33,100. All right. So what is the conclusion? After 3 years, how much we will be getting? The interest portion is 33,100. So in total we will be getting 1,33,100, out of which 33,100 is the compound interest and 1 lakh was the principal which we had invested. So on comparing both the methods, using simple interest system, we were getting 30,000 as the interest. Whereas in compounding, we are getting 33,100 as the interest. So if the rates are same, then compound is always beneficial. Compounding system is always beneficial. So easily we can compare here. In compound interest, we are getting 33,100, whereas in simple interest method, we are getting only 30,000. So this is the basic. All right. So in practical life, normally what happens? Compound interest is followed by banks. Okay. So now let us discuss the formula how to calculate compound interest. So let's start with the formula. So first of all, we are writing the formula to calculate amount in case of compound interest. So amount is equal to principal bracket multiply 1 plus I t whole to the power of n. Sorry, we can write 1 plus I and then whole to the power of n. So this is the formula to calculate amount in case of compounding system. So amount is equal to principal bracket 1 plus I whole to the power of n. Here P is the principal, I is the rate of interest, and n is known as the time period. N is the time period. All right. So let us do some calculations here. Let us take the principal is rupees 10,000. Okay. The rate of interest is 8% per annum, and the time period is 2 years. Time period is 2 years. Now we have to calculate the amount. So what we will be doing? Applying the figures. In case of principal, we can substitute 10,000. Then 1 plus rate. What is rate? 8%. So for 8% we can write 8 upon 100, or we can write 0.08. In place of n, we have to put number of years. So how many years are there? It is 2. So it is 2 years. Now, what we have to do? We have to calculate the power 2. So 1.08 into equal to. For calculating the power 2, what we have to do? Simply type 1.08 multiply and press equal to. This is known as power 2. So in this manner, you can calculate easily the powers. And then we have to multiply it with 10,000. So after multiplying, we are getting 11,664. This is the amount. So everyone can try and let me know whether you are getting the result or not. Rahul is getting different figure. Chirag is getting correct answer. Barun, Manjuna, all are getting 11,664. That's correct. Diksha is having correct answer. Ritika and Sadhya is also correct. Malay is also correct. Vinita is correct. Great. So almost everyone is correct. So whenever we have to calculate the power 2, simply type the number, press multiply and equal to. It will give you the power 2. Alright. Now, if instead of 2, the power, let's say, is 5. Let's say we are having 5 years. So this time what we are doing, the principal is same, 10,000. Rate of interest is 8% per annum, and for time we are taking 5 years. We are taking 5 years. Now we have to calculate. So let's do the calculations. Now this time what you have to do on your calculator, understand please carefully how to calculate power 5 easily on the calculator. So first of all, you have to type the value 1.08, press multiply and then press equal to 4 times. You have to press equal to 4 times. If power is 5, then press 4. If power is 6, then press 5. Alright. So let's do this. 1.08 multiply and then press equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. After pressing 4 times, I am getting 1.4693. And then multiply it with the principal, that is 10,000. So what is the result? So this time the result is 14,693.28. All right. Yes, most of you have given the answers. That's great. 14,693 is the correct answer. All right. So whenever we have to calculate the power, what is the simplest way? Type the number, press multiply, and then equal to according to the number of years. You will get your result. All right. Now, let's see how many of you are getting the answers. Yes, most of you have got the answers. Right. Perfect. So now this was the calculation of amount. Here we have calculated the amount. Now how to calculate the compound interest? So it is very simple. To calculate the compound interest, we have to subtract amount minus principal. So what we have to do, amount minus principal is known as compound interest. So in this above question, 14,693 was the amount. And what was the principal? Principal was 10,000. We can subtract them and get the result. So rupees 4,693 is the compound interest. It is simply the compound interest. So in compound interest, the interest keeps on changing every year. When we compare with simple interest, we can easily check that there is a difference in interest every year. Like on comparing the first year, simple and compound both are giving 10,000 as the interest. Then in second year, simple is still giving 10,000, whereas compound is giving 11,000. In third year, simple is still giving 10,000, whereas in compound it is giving 12,100. So interest is getting increased every year when we are talking about compounding system. Whereas in simple interest, interest remains constant every year. All right. So now the main thing is we have to calculate all these things on our calculator, and of course you can round off according to the options given in the question. Okay. So let us start with one example. Or before doing the example, let us discuss one more topic, that is conversion period. Conversion period. Now, what is the conversion period? In question, बहुत सी बार क्वेश्चन में आपको लिखा मिलेगा compounding needs to be done annually or compounding needs to be done half yearly. Sometime it will be quarterly or monthly. So at that time, we have to convert rate and time. We have to convert rate and time. So how do we convert that thing? Let us understand. Compounding means we have to charge interest. Compounding means we have to charge interest on that portion. So let's say if compounding is done yearly, if compounding is done yearly, then second system is compounding is to be done half yearly, then it can be quarterly, then it can be monthly, or it can be daily. So there are different ways of compounding. Now let's say if we are having 2 years, if we are having 2 years, then how many times we have to compound? So compounding yearly means once in a year. Compounding yearly means once in a year. Half yearly means how many half years are there in 1 year. So in 1 year we can say that there are 2 half years. That means we have to compound 2 times in 1 year. You have to do compounding 2 times in 1 year. What is quarterly? Quarterly means 4. That means 4 times in 1 year. How many months are there in 1 year? Then it is 12. So 12 times compounding. And daily means 365 days in 1 year. In 1 year. So if we are talking about 2 years, how many times we have to compound? So if it is yearly compounding system, then we can multiply 1 with 2. Yearly compounding, that means we have to overall do 2 times compounding in 2 years. Half yearly. So how many half years are there in 2 years? 2 साल में कितने half years आते हैं? So accordingly we can calculate. So 2 into 2 is 4. Then quarters. How many quarters will come in 2 years? So 4 into 2 is 8. How many months will come in 2 years? 12 into 2, 24. And how many days will come in 2 years? So 365 into 2, that is 730. In short, whatever is the time, we have to multiply accordingly with these figures. If it is 2 years, we have to multiply 2 with all these figures. If it is 3 years, we have to multiply all these with 3 years. So always time is multiplied. And what about the rate? Rate will get divided. The rate will always get divided. Let's say if the rate of interest is 12% per annum. If rate is 12% per annum, that is for the whole year. So if it is yearly compounding, we will apply the rate same 12%. But if we are doing half yearly compounding, we have to apply the rate for half year. We have to apply the rate for half year. So if 12% is the rate for complete year, then what will be the rate for half year? 12 divided by 2, that is 6%. Then if the system is quarterly, so we have to convert the rate also into quarters. So if 12 is the rate for 1 year, then what will be the rate of quarter? Simply divide by 4 and we are getting 3%. Then monthly, 12 by 12, that is 1%. And for daily, we have to do 12 by 365%. Okay, so whenever we have to calculate the rate, we have to divide. And whenever we have to calculate the time, we can multiply. Okay, so simply the thought process is how many half years are there, how many months are there. Accordingly, we have to think and then solve the question. Okay, so this system is known as conversion period. कि कैसे हम time and rate को convert करेंगे according to the question. अगर yearly mentioned है तो हमें time and rate को convert नहीं करना है. No need of conversion in case of yearly compounding. But अगर half year है, in case of half year, we have to convert. Time को calculate करने के लिए multiply it with 2 and for rate divide by 2. In case of quarterly compounding, time को calculate करने के लिए multiply by 4 and for rate divided by 4. Monthly compounding के लिए multiply by 12 for the time and divide by 12 for the rate and so on. Right? So this is known as conversion period. So I think I have discussed in detail and this will be more clear in the coming questions. All right. Okay. So this was the formula which we had discussed right now. Amount is equal to principal, then 1 plus I whole to the power of n. Then I is known as the annual rate of interest divided by the conversion period according to half yearly, quarterly or monthly. Then if we have to calculate the compound interest, so we have to subtract, that is amount minus principal. Then it will give us compound interest. All right. Now, if we can change this formula a bit, like amount minus principal. Now, in place of amount, we can write the formula for amount that we had discussed right now. So, principal 1 plus I whole to the power of n and minus p. Now, what is common? P can be taken as common. So, what is left? 1 plus I whole to the power of n minus 1. So this becomes one more formula for compound interest. So simply what we have done, we have substituted the formula for amount in place of A. So in this, we can calculate compound interest with the help of principal, rate, and then time. No need to have amount. So this conversion period is only applicable for compounding system, no need for the simple system. Then example number 12. Now this is the basic question. Rupees 2000 is invested at annual rate of interest of 10%. So this 2000 is the principal. N is the rate of interest. Now, what is the amount after 2 years? We have to calculate amount. at the end of 2 years. So this 2 is the time period. If compounding is done annually, semi-annually, quarterly, and monthly. So 4 figures we have to calculate. So let us begin with the first one. So amount is equal to principal multiplied by 1 plus I to the power of n. So what we are doing, in place of principal, we can write 2000. Then rate is 10%. So 1 plus 0.1 and then whole to the power of 2 because time is 2 years. Now you can calculate and get the result. So 1.1 multiply and then press equal to. Then multiply it with 2000. You are getting 2420. 2420. This is a portion that is annually compounding. When compounding is to be done on annual basis. Second system is semi-annually. So in case of semi-annually, first we have to convert. So let us do the conversion. Semi-annually. So principal will be the same, that is 2000, but rate 10% was given per annum. So for semi-annually, we have to divide by 2. So it will become 5%. The rate is 5%. And what about the time? The time is 2 years. So for converting into half year, we have to multiply it with 2. So it is 4. Time becomes 4. Now we can solve. So amount is equal to, in place of principal, we can write 2000, then 1 plus 0.05 because 5% is the rate now, and in place of time we can put 4. And now we can get the result. So 1.05, then press multiply and equal to for 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then multiply it with 2000. We will get the result as 2431. 2431. This is semi-annually. So semi-annually means half yearly. So we have to convert both rate as well as time. For time, we have to do multiply, and for rate, we have to divide. So let us try the third one. The third one is quarterly. So C portion quarterly. So for quarterly, what we have to do? For time divided by 4. So sorry, time multiply with 4, and for rate divide by 4. So 10 upon 4 becomes the rate of interest, or we can write 2.5%. And what about the time period? Time period is 2 into 4, that is 8 quarters. So there will be 8 quarters in 2 years. Okay, so now let us apply the formula. Amount is equal to, principal is 2000, 1 plus 0.025 whole to the power of 8. So 1.025, then press multiply and equal to for 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then press multiply 2000. And now we are getting 2436.805. So 2436. So now you can connect. As we are doing more compounding, we are getting more amount. जैसे जैसे हम जितनी ज्यादा कंपाउंडिंग करेंगे उतना ज्यादा अमाउंट आपको मिलने वाला है. Because in case of yearly compounding, we were receiving 2420. In case of half yearly compounding, we are receiving 2431. In case of quarterly compounding, we are receiving 2436. So as compounding increases, amount also increases. So all these things you can do directly on the calculator. I am doing on the screen in order to show you the calculations. Otherwise, in examination, you are not supposed to do and write each and everything. Just do all these things on your calculator. Like now the fourth one, monthly. Now you don't write anything and just try to solve it on your calculator. Okay. The D portion for time, what we have to do? 2 years multiplied by 12. How many months? 24 months. And what about the rate? The rate will be 10 upon 12%. So now I am showing you how to do each and everything on calculator completely. Let's try. So first of all, what you have to do? Type 10 divide 12%. Sorry, 10 divided by 12. Have you done this? 10 upon 12. Done. Then divide with 100. This is your monthly rate. So what we have done in short, 10 divided by 1200. Now whatever you are getting, add 1. Now it is 1.0083. Okay, this is the bracket figure 1 plus I. 1.0083, it is 1 plus I. And now we have to calculate the power 24. So what we have to do, press multiply and equal to for 23 times. Okay. Have you tried? I'm getting 1.22039 and then multiply it with 2000. You will get the result as 2440 point something. So this is your final answer. So in this manner, you can calculate all your calculations by calculator. So Priya is asking, what is the logic behind multiply the time and not divide? See, how we are multiplying, we have to understand. Like if we are talking about quarterly compounding, that means how many quarters are there in 1 year. So in 1 year, there are 4 quarters. And if time period is 2 years, then in 2 years, how many quarters will be there? 4 plus 4, that is 8 quarters. Or you can calculate as 4 into 2, that is 8 quarters. So in order to calculate for more number of years, of course, you have to multiply. So that is why we are multiplying for the time. Okay. Then Sachin and Anam says, can you please repeat once again? Okay. I am writing all the steps that you have to type on calculator. Okay. And then you will get the result. So first of all, we have to do 10 divided by 1200 equal to plus 1 equal to. So this result is basically 1 plus I. Now you have to calculate power 24. Press multiply equal to equal to equal to. So you have to press these equal to's how many times? 23 times. You have to press these equal to's 23 times. So after doing these 23 equal to's, multiply the figure with the principal, which is 2000, and press equal to. You will get the result. And your result is 2440.78. You are getting 2440.78. Okay, Mohammed Barkatullah says that's amazing trick. Yes, it's great. So we can do all these calculations simply on our calculator, and that too very easily. So all those who have got the result can hit the comment box and let me know that you have got this trick now. Yes, Malay, you are correct. You can do in this way also. No worries. Diksha Agarwal says this trick don't work on mobile calculator. Yes, mobile calculators are not allowed in the examination. So you have to carry the proper calculator and all these tricks will be applicable on the proper calculator only. Okay, so most of you are saying, yes, sir, got it, understood, cool trick, yes, got it. Okay. Then Manas is asking, क्या 1 mark के question में चारों parts पूछेंगे? No. In 1 mark question, you will be asked one part. This in this example number 12, this is basically for the comparison and for doing the practice. So this is not the exam-based question. All right. Ashish Kumar says it's so amazing. Arya says yes, I got the trick. Okay. Then Moksha says in exam if two options are there, which we have to select. Just do the round off and then you can select. If you are getting 0.5 or above, then you have to round above side. So if it is coming 2 to 4.5 or 5, 6 or 7, then you can write 2441. Okay. Now let's try with the next one. Example number 13. Let us read example number 13 first. Determine the compound amount and compound interest. We have to calculate both things, amount as well as interest. On rupees 1000 at 6% compounded semi-annually for 6 years. So 1000 is the principal, 6% is the rate, compounding is done semi-annually, and the time period is 6 years. Given that, some figures are also given. 1 plus I to the power of n. So now question is given you some calculations. You can directly apply this as well or you can calculate on your calculator. No worries. So the system is semi-annually. So whenever it is semi-annually, we have to do some conversions. So the given rate is 6%. So for semi-annually divided with 2. So converted rate will be 3%. Then time is 6 years. For converting into half yearly, multiply with 2, and now we are getting 12 half years. 12 half years. Now we can apply the formula and get the result. So amount is equal to principal is 1000, then 1.03 to the power of 12. To the power of 12. All right. Let's get the result. So 1.03 multiply and press equal to for 11 times. And then multiply it with 1000. You will get the result as 1425.76. 1425.76. 25.76. So this is your amount. This is the amount. And in order to calculate the compound interest, what we have to do? Subtract the principal. So 1425.76 minus 1000. So we are getting 425.76 as the compound interest. So this becomes the compound interest. So in this way we can calculate. So I think most of you had done. Let's check what are the comments. So most of you have given the answers and most of you have liked the trick. That's great. Then Aditya says Casio DJ120D is calculator allowed in exams. Yes, all such kind of normal calculators are allowed. Just you must have the basic functions which will help you to do all these calculations. Okay. Then okay, then there is one question by Miss Arshdeep. What is the meaning of A with base N? Okay, A with base N. A is the amount and N is the number of years. A2 means amount at the end of second year. A3 means amount at the end of third year. Okay. So if anywhere An is written, that means amount at the end of n years. So all these basic calculators are allowed. Yes, most of you are asking the similar question. So most of the calculators are allowed. All right. Keshav says your teaching style is fantastic. Thank you, dear. Okay, so now let us move towards the different questions so that we can cover all the variety, because compound interest is a bit lengthy topic and we have to cover the variety of questions. So I think we have given the proper time to the basics and now we can step by step move to the different questions where we have to calculate, let's say, rate. Sometimes we have to calculate the time or we have to calculate the principal as well. So all such missing figure questions we have to complete in today's session. So the 14th one, just we have to discuss this question and you can solve it by yourself. Compute the compound interest on 4,000 for 1.5 years. So what is this 4,000? This 4,000 is the principal. For 1.5 years, this is the time period. 10% is the rate of interest, compounded half yearly. So compounding is to be done half yearly. So for half yearly, multiply time with 2. So time will be 1.5 into 2. That is 3. And for rate divided by 2, it becomes 5. So this is the rate and time. And now you can solve it by yourself. Yes, so most of you have done. That's great. Iskan says, is my message visible? Yes, Iskan, you are visible. Your messages are visible. Varun says, extra question आप अपनी तरफ से दे दो. Yes, I will give you. Don't worry. So I will be uploading, I think in evening, some mixed questions of simple as well as compound interest. Okay. Now, the next one, on what sum will the compound interest at 5% per annum for 2 years compounded annually be rupees 1640? On what sum? What sum means we have to calculate the principal this time. Principal we have to calculate. Rate is 5% per annum. Then time is 2 years. compounding annually. Compounding is done on annual basis, and 1640. So what is this 1640? We have to understand very carefully the language. What the language is saying. This 1640 is nothing but the compound interest. How do we know? Because the question says on what sum will the compound interest at 5% for 2 years will be 1640. So compound interest is 1640. So we have to apply the formula for compound interest. So it is principal, then bracket 1 plus I whole to the power of n minus 1. Just apply this. 1640 is equal to, in place of principal we can write p, it is missing, then 1.05 to the power of 2 and then minus 1. So we can write the square, 1.05 square and then minus 1. Then you can solve and get the result, 16,000. The result which we are getting is 16,000. Yes, Varda Fatima has given the answer, Chirag has given the answer, 16,000. So 16,000 is the correct and perfect answer. You can simply do this calculation on your calculator. What you have to type? First of all, do 1.05, then press multiply equal to, then minus 1, and now press M plus button. Press M plus button. The next step is type 1640, divide, press MRC button and then equal to. The answer will be on your screen. The answer will be on your screen. I am repeating once again. For calculating the square, what we are doing, 1.05 multiply and then equal to, this is the square. Then we have to subtract 1, so minus 1. After deducting 1, whatever is the result, you have to press M plus button. M plus button. Then next step is type 1640, divide, press MRC button and then equal to. You will get 16,000 as the answer. 16,000 will be on your screen. Okay, so I think most of you have got the result. So this is the power of memory function. So whenever we use memory function, we don't have to remember the figures, but our calculator has the power to remember the figures. M plus means we are saving that figure in the memory of calculator. And MRC is known as memory recall. Whenever we press MRC button, the number which was saved in the memory comes back on the screen when we press MRC. The MRC is the memory recall button. Okay. So whenever we are doing M plus, we are sending the number to the memory. We are adding the number to the memory. M minus button means we are subtracting the number from the memory. And MRC means we are recalling the number from memory. So it is memory recall. All right. Stan says, please guide me about purchasing the calculator, since there are many models and which one is best for exam. See, most of the models are applicable for examination as well, and the one which I am using is this one, Casio MJ12D. So this is a very good model, and I can use all kind of memory functions in this, and then GT function also. So this is a good calculator. So I can write the model number here as well. Casio MJ12D. This I am using. Okay. So we have to learn this memory tricks of calculator, because these tricks can help us to solve very fast. All right. So Navneet says I have purchased this one only. Ritika says I am using 120D, no problem, all is perfect. Okay, all are correct, no worries. Now let's try the next one. What annual rate of interest compounded annually doubles an investment in 7 years? So I will repeat these tricks in different questions so that you will be able to correlate with every question. All right. So what will be the annual rate of interest? So this time we have to calculate the rate, that is I. Then compounding doubles an investment in 7 years. The amount is getting doubled. Double means if the principal is P, then amount will be double, that is 2 times of the principal. Investment is for 7 years. So time is 7 years. Given that 2 to the power 1 by 7 is this value. So this is the hint, or we can see the table value. So we are not supposed to calculate. It is already given in the question. So let us apply the formula. Amount equal to principal 1 plus I to the power of n. So in place of amount, we can write 2p equal to principal. Then 1 plus I is not available, and time is 7 years. Now what we have to do first, principal is available on both the sides, we can cancel p. Then on right hand side 1 plus I is having the power 7. When power goes on the other side, it becomes reciprocal. This you might have learned in the law of indices chapter, right? So let us send the power on the other side. 2 to the power 1 by 7 is equal to 1 plus I. Now 2 to the power of 1 by 7 is already given in the question. Just substitute the value. So 1.104090. 1 will also go on left hand side. So how much I is coming? 0.104090. And in order to calculate into percentage, multiply it with 100, we are getting 10.41%. So this is the required rate of interest. That is 10.41%. Zeba says my answer is visible. Yes, it is visible, Zeba. Then Srinidhi says I am getting the answer 0.0041. You can recheck your calculations. Okay. Then Rahul says please repeat the last one again. Okay. So let me explain that. Whenever we are using the memory function on calculator, so first step you have to do that, check on your screen that whether M is written on the screen or not. Whether M is written on the screen or not. It should be plain. If M is written, then remove that M. तो स्क्रीन पे M नहीं लिखा होना चाहिए. M अगर लिखा है, that means कैलकुलेटर की मेमोरी में पहले से कुछ पड़ा है. Already there is something in calculator's memory. So you have to erase that first. How to erase that? Press MRC button 2 times. Press MRC button for the 2 times. The old memory will get erased. All right, old memory will get erased. Then let us solve that question once again. We were having 1640 as the interest, then principal 1.05 to the power of 2 minus 1. And now we have to calculate the principal. So if we calculate in this way, what was supposed to be done? We have to calculate the power 2 first. So for calculating the power 2, what we are doing? 1.05 press multiply and equal to. Done this step. First step was this 1.05 multiply and then equal to. Second step is to subtract 1 from this. Okay. You have to subtract 1 from this. After subtracting 1, what has to be done? Press M plus button. Press M plus button. Then the third step is now type 1640 divide and now MRC button. After pressing MRC, don't forget to press equal to. Okay, so 1640 divide MRC and then press equal to. You will get exact answer, that is 60,000. 16,000. This is your answer. Okay, done. Then Sankaldeep Paswan says 2 raised to the power of 1 by 7. How to solve this on calculator? Yes, the most common doubt is this: how to calculate roots on the calculator. If there is square root, the button is available for square root, but when we are talking about cube root, fifth root, seventh root, the buttons are not available on the calculator. So there is no button for cube root, there is no button for fifth root. Then how to calculate all those roots? Okay, we will discuss at the end of the today's session. Okay, I will show you the trick. So now let's focus on the next question. In what time 8,000 amounts to 8,820 at 10% per annum interest compounded half yearly? Half yearly. So what is 8,000? 8,000 is the principal. 8820 is the amount. The rate is 10%, and we have to calculate the time. So whenever it is compounding half yearly, we have to divide the rate with 2. So divide the rate with 2, we are getting 5%. So now applying the formula. Which formula we need to apply? Amount, because amount is given. So 8820 is equal to, in place of principal, we will write 8,000. Then 1 plus rate 0.05 and to the power of n, because time is not available in the question. Now what needs to be done? 8,000 is getting multiplied on right hand side. It will go on left and get divided. So let us divide 8820 divided by 8,000. It is 1.1025 is equal to 1.05 to the power of n. This we are getting. Okay, this we are getting. Now what we have to do next? So next is we have to try the powers for 1.05. So now type on your calculator 1.05, press multiply and equal to once first. Only one time press equal to. As soon as we press equal to, we get the square. That means we have calculated the power 2. And as we calculated the power 2, we got the same result as written here, that is 1.1025. जैसे ही हमने power 2 को कैलकुलेट किया, हमारे पास रिजल्ट क्या आ गया? 1.1025, जो यहाँ पर गिवन है. That means अगर हम n की प्लेस पे 2 रखते हैं, if we substitute the value of 2 in place of n, then we are getting the same result. That means our n is 2. It shows that n is 2. But this 2 is what? This 2 is the half year because the question is for half yearly compounding. So 2 are the half years. In order to convert it into number of years, so 2 half years, when we combine 2 half years, it will become 1 complete year. The correct answer is 1 year. So n was 2, but number of years is 1. Number of years will be 1. Okay. This was example number 70. Now 18th question is similar. You can try this at your home. Then 19. In this question, we have to calculate the principal. Yes, now again you can apply your trick and get the result for example number 19. Let's do this. 19. For 19th question, what we have to do, a certain sum invested at 4% per annum, compounded semi-annually, amounts to 78,030 at the end of 1 year. So amount is given 78,030. Rate is given 4%. So for half yearly, we have to divide the rate by 2. So it will become 2%. At the end of 1 year, so 1 year means 2 half years. So n will be 2. N will be 2. Now we can apply and get the result. So amount equals to principal 1 plus I to the power of n. In place of amount, we can write 78,030 is equal to, what is the principal? We don't know. Rate is 2%. So 1.02 to the power of n. What is n? It is 2. So just write 2 in place of n. Now what we have to do? Calculate the power 2 first and erase the old memory from the calculator. अगर स्क्रीन पे पहले से m का साइन है तो उसको रिमूव कर दें, पुरानी मेमोरी को हटा दें. Now what needs to be done? 1.02 multiply equal to, then press m plus button. Now 78,030 on your calculator, divide and press MRC and then equal to, you are getting your result as 75,000. 75,000. Okay. So this is your correct answer. So using memory function, you can do all these calculations very fast. Now 20 is kind of similar question we have done. Now 21. We will move towards question number 21. Then some of the students are asking about, can we calculate log on the calculator? No, you don't have to calculate all the logarithm on your calculator. The values will already be given in the question. Okay, so you are not supposed to calculate anything for the logarithm on calculator. So now let us start with example number 21. A person opened an account on April 2011 with a deposit of rupees 800. तो हमने एक अकाउंट ओपन किया और उसमें 800 रुपीज डिपॉजिट कर दिए. The account paid 6% interest compounded quarterly. अब वो अकाउंट हमें कितना इंटरेस्ट दे रहा है? 6% इंटरेस्ट पे कर रहा है. कंपाउंडिंग सिस्टम कौन सा है? क्वार्टरली. Compounding is done on quarterly basis. On 1st October 11, 1st October, he closed the account and added enough additional money to invest in 6 months time deposit. और उसके बाद उसमें कुछ पैसा ऐड किया. कितना पैसा ऐड किया ताकि वो अमाउंट 1000 बन जाए. And earning 6% compounded monthly. So this is a complete case study given in the question. Now, how much additional amount did the person invested on October 1? On October 1. तो यहाँ पे देखें, we are trying to solve the question with this given solution. हम उसको पूरा solve नहीं करके थोड़ा सा understanding यहाँ से ले लेंगे and we will proceed further. All right. So let's do this. How much additional amount did the person invest on 1st October? तो पहले हमने देखा 1st April से 1st October. What is the time period? The time period is 6 months. 6 months का हमारे पास टाइम है और इस 6 months में कितना इंटरेस्ट हमें मिलेगा ये फाइंड आउट करना है. So for this 6 months we can calculate. So 800 is the principal. Then 1 plus I. So for calculating I we have to divide it with what number? We have to divide with 12. So let us try this. No, we have to divide with 4 because it is quarterly compounding. So 6% divided by 4, it is 1.5%. So rate will be 0.015. This is I. 0.015. This is the rate. Now apply the formula. So 800 into 1 plus I to the power of 2. And we are getting 824.18. So this is the amount on 1st October. This is the amount which we are getting on 1st of October when we are closing the account. Now we have to deposit 1000. We have to deposit 1000. And how much we are having? We are having 824.18. So what is the difference amount which we have to add? हमें कितने पैसे ऐड करने पड़ेंगे कि वो 1000 बन जाए? तो let us subtract 175.82. अगर हम इतना पैसा ऐड करेंगे, then it will become 1000. This was the first question. Then what is the maturity value of this time deposit on 1st April? So now we have invested 1000 for 6 months again. So let us calculate. 1000 is the principal. Rate is how much now? 6% compounded monthly. So now this time the compounding is on monthly basis. So monthly basis, so we have to divide the rate by 12. So 6 upon 12. How much? 0.5%, or we can write I is equal to 0.005. This is I. So for maturity value, we can calculate amount is equal to 1000, 1.005 whole to the power of 6. And then we can calculate. So 1.005, press multiply and equal to for 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then multiply with 1000. We are getting 1030.37. This is the maturity value. This is the B part. Okay. तो पहले हमने 800 इन्वेस्ट किया for 6 months. Compounding was quarterly. फिर उसमें जितना भी अमाउंट कम पड़ा हमने वो इन्वेस्ट किया ताकि वो 1000 बन जाए और उस 1000 को इन्वेस्ट किया फॉर 6 months and after 6 months the amount which we are getting is 1030.37. And the third part says what is the total interest which we have earned. So now we can calculate it easily. 800 became 824.18. This shows that 24.18 was the interest. Then 1000 became 1030.37. It shows that 30.37 was the interest. So what was the total interest? We can add and get the result. So 24.18 plus 30.37. We are getting 54.45. So 54.45 is the total interest earned in the whole year. All right. So this was example number 21. So now the next topic is the effective rate of interest. So let us do some calculations on effective rate, and after that we will move towards the exercise. So what is the meaning of this effective rate? What is the meaning of the term effective rate? So if interest is compounded more than once in a year, then the effective rate for the year exceeds the per annum rate of interest. It exceeds the per annum rate of interest. Let's say if the rate is 12%, if the rate is 12%, or you can take a break, short break, and then after that we can continue with this, all right? So let us take a small break of 5 minutes, and then we can continue with this topic and then continue with the exercise so that we can complete this chapter today, this compound interest today. And next session will be on annuity. All right. So break of 5 minutes. So welcome back everyone. So now we have to do the effective rate of interest. Effective rate का मतलब क्या है? जब कंपाउंडिंग एक साल में एक से ज्यादा टाइम हो जाती है, लाइक हाफ ईयरली कंपाउंडिंग, क्वार्टरली या मंथली कंपाउंडिंग, तो उस कंपाउंडिंग का इफेक्ट ये होता है कि हमें रिटर्न ज्यादा मिलने लग जाते हैं, हमें पहले से ज्यादा रिटर्न मिलता है। तो जो हमारी इफेक्टिव, जो हमारी नॉर्मल रेट गिवन होती है, उससे ज्यादा रेट मिलता है। कैसे मिलता है वो चेक करते हैं with the basic formula. So effective rate is equal to 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1. तो ये जो फॉर्मूला है ये वहीं से आया है जो हमारा कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट का फॉर्मूला है, बस हमने उसमें से ओनली रेट वाला पोर्शन एक्सट्रैक्ट कर लिया है। So effective rate is equal to 1 plus I whole to the power of n minus 1. So if the compounding is on half yearly basis, अगर half yearly basis है तो हम क्या करेंगे? So let's say the time is 1 year, but half yearly compounding के लिए n will become 2 and rate will be half. So if the rate is 12%, the new rate will be how much? 6%. So effective rate is equal to 1 plus 0.06 to the power of 2 and then minus 1. So let us calculate 1.06 into equal to and then minus 1. So we are getting 0.1236. In order to calculate in percentage, multiply by 100, we will get 12.36%. 12.36%. So the yearly rate was 12%, but if the compounding is done on half yearly basis, the effective rate becomes 12.36. That means we get more return. So the more number of compounding in a year, the more return we can get. Now let us try for quarterly. If we are having quarterly compounding, then effective rate will be 1 plus. So for quarterly, the rate will be 12 divided by 4, that is 3%. So 1 plus 0.03. In place of time, we will write 4 because 4 times compounding in 1 year. So power will be 4. So let us check. 1.03 multiply and then equal to for 3 times 1, 2, 3, then minus 1. So we are getting 0.1255. 0.1255. In terms of percentage, we can write 12.55%. So this is the rate of interest. This is the effective rate of interest. And let's say if compounding is to be done on monthly basis, then convert the rate again. So rate will be 12 upon 12, that is 1%, and in place of n, we will take 12 months. So effective rate is equal to 1 plus 0.01 to the power of how much? 12, and then minus 1. Let us do this. 1.01 multiply and equal to for 11 times this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Minus 1. Now we are getting 0.1268. That is 12.68%. So this becomes the effective rate. So in this manner, we can always calculate the effective rate of interest. So the yearly interest was 12%, but when we are compounding more than once, we get the more returns. So monthly we are getting 12.68, quarterly we are getting 12.55, then in case of half yearly it is 12.36. So more compounding, more returns. So based on this, we can do some illustrations. That is example number 22. 5,000 is invested in term deposit scheme that fetches 6% per annum compounded quarterly. So compounding is to be done quarterly basis. So rate will be converted 6 divided by 4, that is 1.5%. What will be the interest after 1 year? We have to calculate interest after 1 year. So time will be 1 year multiplied by 4 quarters. N will be 4. Then what will be interest after 1 year and the effective rate of interest? Okay, so we can calculate. So I is equal to principal. What is principal? 5,000. Then 1 plus I to the power of n, and then minus 1. So in place of I, we can write 0.015 to the power of 4 and then minus 1. So let us calculate this. 1.015 multiply and then press equal to for 3 times and then do minus 1. Minus 1. What we are getting? 0.06136. This we are getting. This is the effective rate, and we have to multiply this effective rate with 5,000. So the final result is 306.82. This is the compound interest. Okay. So this is the compound interest. So we have calculated both the things. This figure was the effective rate, and after multiplying it with 5,000, we are getting the compound interest. So effective rate, if compounding is on annually basis, then annual rate and effective rate both will be same. Okay, so no need for calculating effective rate on annual basis. But if compounding is more than once, then only we have to calculate the effective rate. All right. So effective rate तभी calculate करना है जब yearly नहीं, half yearly, quarterly या monthly compounding हो, तब हम उसको calculate करेंगे. Otherwise yearly है, then there is no need for effective rate. Okay, then 23 and 24 are similar. Okay, now let's move towards exercise 4th B. 4th B, first, second, and third are the basic questions which we had already discussed. Now the fourth is a different one we can discuss now. A machine is depreciated at the rate of 20% on reducing balance method. Now, in compounding, every time till now what we have discussed, that we have invested the principal, it will increase and will become the bigger amount. हमने 1000 को इन्वेस्ट किया और कुछ साल बाद हमें 1200 1300 मिलेगा. But this question is just opposite. This question is based on the chapter depreciation, which we have discussed in accounts. So this chapter is basically based on the depreciation, but formula is quite similar to that of compound interest. So let us read the question first. A machine is depreciated at the rate of 20% on reducing balance method. The original cost of machine was rupees 1 lakh. This is the cost of machine, and its ultimate scrap value is 30,000. Then find the effective life of machine. So we have to calculate the life. So let's do this. So first of all, we can compare the formula with the compound interest formula. So amount is equal to principal 1 plus I to the power of n. So now in place of amount, we have to write scrap value. SV is scrap value. In place of principal, we have to write the cost of asset. Then 1. In place of plus, we have to put minus because the value is getting decreased. I is the rate of depreciation and N is the time period. So formula is similar, but instead of plus, we have to put minus. Okay. So what is the scrap value given in the question? The scrap value is 30,000. What is the cost of machine? It is 1 lakh. And the rate of depreciation is 20%. That is 0.2. How much is the time period? The time period we have to calculate. So let us put N. So this is the given question. This is the given situation. तो जो भी वैल्यू हमें गिवन है हमने उसको पुट कर दिया and now we have to solve. So cutting all the zeros, let's cut the zeros. 4 zeros and 4 zeros got cancelled. We are left with 0.3 is equal to 1 minus 0.2. 1 minus 0.2 is how much? 0.8. And then to the power of n. This is the equation. Now we have to solve this equation. 0.3 is equal to 0.8 to the power of n. Now what shall we put in place of n so that it becomes 0.3? n की place पे हम क्या रखें so that result 0.3 आ जाए? So we can try different values. So let us try 0.8. What we have to do on calculator? Type 0.8, press into and then equal to. We want 0.3. So 0.8 multiply and then equal to. One time equal to, that means it is the square. Second time equal to, it is the cube. Third time equal to, that is power 4. Fourth time equal to, it is power 5. So when we are checking the power 5, we are getting the value as, when we have kept n equal to 5, we are getting 0.32768. And when we are doing power 6, we are getting 0.26214. So check this first. Till here you are getting or not? Our aim is to get the 0.3 as the result. If exactly it is not coming, we can calculate one value above 0.3 and one value below 0.3. तो n के प्लेस पर आपको पावर में कुछ रखना है जिससे 0.3 आ जाए. अगर 0.3 एग्जैक्ट नहीं आ रहा है तो फिर हम क्या करेंगे? 0.3 से वैल्यू एक अबव लेंगे और एक बिलो लेंगे. तो जब आपने ट्राई किया तो पावर 5 में वैल्यू आ रही है 0.32768 which is just above 0.3 and power 6 में वैल्यू आ रही है 0.26214 which is below 0.3. ये क्या शो करता है? This shows that the time period is between 5 and 6. This shows that the time period is between 5 and 6 years. It is not exactly 5, it is not exactly 6, but it lies between 5 and 6. Now, how to calculate the exact value for 5 and 6? Okay. So now, understand it very carefully. We have to reach 0.3. When n is kept as 5, we are getting 0.32768. And when n is kept as 6, we are getting 0.26214. Okay. So now we have to bring 0.32. 0.32 को हमें थोड़ा रिड्यूस करना है और कहां तक लेके आना है? Up to this 0.3. This is the destination. That is 0.3 is our destination. तो 0.32 को रिड्यूस करते करते हमें कहां तक आना है? 0.3 तक पहुंचना है. तो 5 इयर्स तो पहले ही लग गए. अब 5 इयर्स के बाद में और कितना टाइम लगेगा? तो हमें क्या करना है? 0.32768 को लेके आना है अप टू 0.3 तक, डिवाइडेड बाय इस 5 से लेके 6 तक के गैप में ओवरऑल क्या वैल्यू है वो पुट करेंगे 0.32768 माइनस 0.26214। तो ओवरऑल 1 ईयर में कितना गैप है, दिस माइनस दिस, एंड हमें जो रिक्वायर्ड है उसका गैप कितना है 0.32 एंड 0.3। अब इनको सॉल्व करते ही आपका रिजल्ट आ जाएगा। सो लेट अस कैलकुलेट, इसको हम सॉल्व कर लेते हैं, वी विल गेट द रिजल्ट। सो 0.32768 minus 0.3. In numerator we are getting 0.02768 and in denominator 0.32768 minus 0.26214, 0.06554. So let us divide and get the result. So we are getting 5.42 years. 5.42 years. So this is your final answer. So let us check with options. Yes, 5.4 year is the B option. So we are getting the answer as B. तो एग्जाम में कभी कभी ऐसे कैलकुलेटिव क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं. नॉट ऑल क्वेश्चंस विल बी लेंथी, बट यस सम क्वेश्चंस मे बी लेंथी, सो वी हैव टू सेव टाइम फ्रॉम अदर्स एंड कीप टाइम फॉर द लेंथी क्वेश्चंस. ऑलराइट, so the exact answer is 5.4 years. So in such kind of questions you have to do the proportionate calculations. All right. So this was question number 4. Then we will try a few more important questions. So next important question is question number 6. The population of a town increases every year. The population of a town increases every year by 2%. So 2% is the rate of increase of population at the beginning of that year, and the number of years by which the total increase of population will be 40%. तो क्वेश्चन ने क्या कहा कि एवरी ईयर पॉपुलेशन 2% से राइज हो रही है. 2% किसका, द ओपनिंग वैल्यू ऑफ पॉपुलेशन इन दैट ईयर. अगर 100 है फर्स्ट ईयर में तो नेक्स्ट ईयर कितना हो जाएगा 102, फिर नेक्स्ट ईयर 102 प्लस 2%, देन उसका भी 2% एंड सो ऑन. तो इस तरह से पॉपुलेशन 2% के रेट से, कंपाउंड रेट से ग्रो हो रही है. देन व्हाट वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट, कितने टाइम में पॉपुलेशन 40% राइज हो जाएगी, दिस वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट. ओके, so let us try how to calculate this. 6.1 and ऊपर वाले को पहले हाइड कर दें. So let us hide. So question number 6. So for the population, the rate is 2%. Let the current population be P, and what is the required population? That is the amount, we can say P plus 40%. That is 1.4 P. So in place of amount, we can write 1.4 P. In place of principal, it is P. Then 1 plus rate, that is 0.02 to the power of n. Now what is n? We don't know. We have to calculate the n. We have to calculate n. So for solving, we can cancel out P and get the result. So what is left? 1.4 is equal to 1.02 to the power of n. So now we can use hit and trial method in place of n. n की place पे क्या रखें जिससे 1.4 आ जाए. So let us try. 1.02 into equal to for one time 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 इक्वल टू को मैंने प्रेस किया 16 टाइम्स. इट मींस n कितना हो गया 17. n 17 करते ही मेरे पास रिजल्ट आ गया 1.400. दैट मींस नंबर ऑफ इयर्स इज इक्वल टू 17. तो इन 17 इयर्स पॉपुलेशन विल ओवरऑल राइज बाय 40%. 40% से पॉपुलेशन बढ़ जाएगी इन 17 इयर्स. ऑलराइट, so this is question number 6. And those who have missed the calculation, they can again repeat the session. No worries. You can do the calculations with the session, and after that do your homework. Again, if there are any challenges, you can again revise from the session. No worries. Then the next one is seventh. Seventh is very, very important. Now we will discuss the short trick here. The question says the difference between compound interest and simple interest on certain sum of money invested for 3 years at 6% per annum is 110.16. Then find the principal. So what is given in the question? The question is giving difference. किसका difference given है? Compound and simple interest का difference given है. Why there is a difference? Because compound में interest पे interest calculate हो रहा है. Every year interest is growing. लेकिन simple में every year interest remains the same. इसलिए compound gave more interest. So there is a difference between the compound and simple interest of rupees 110.16. Then what is the time period? Time period is 3 years and rate of interest is 6%. So we have to find the principal. So what is the first way? The first way is to apply the formula. To apply the formula for CI, apply the formula for SI, and the difference is 110.16. So what is the formula for compound interest? Principal, then 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1. Then for simple interest, PIT, and then is equal to 110.16. This is the first method, the traditional method. It will take a bit of time. Okay, but instead of doing this, we are doing the trick. So if we go for simple interest, what is the rate of interest per annum? For 1 year, how much is the rate of interest? The question clearly says 6%. We will earn 6% in 1 year. And the time period given is 3 years. So in 3 years, how much percent interest will we earn? So we will earn 18%, right? 6% in 1 year, then 18% in 3 years. If the system is compounding, how much we will earn? So just the system of compounding will follow. So we will earn a bit more than 6% because of compounding. So we can calculate effective rate here. To 1 plus 0.06 to the power of 3 minus 1. So let's see how much we are getting. 1.06 into equal to and then minus 1. So we are getting 0.191016, or in terms of percentage we can write as 19.1016%. So first of all, we had calculated simple interest in terms of percentage for 3 years, compound interest in terms of percentage for 3 years. Now the difference. What is the difference? Difference is 19.1016 minus 18. 1.1016% is the difference. Now comes the result. Principal is equal to difference upon difference. Principal is equal to difference upon difference. If the difference in numerator is in terms of rupees and in denominator it is in terms of percentage. So just write 110.16 divided by 1.1016% and you will get your result. So 110.16 divided by 1.1016%. The result is 10,000. So this is your principal. So this is your principal. So in this manner, we can easily calculate the principal difference upon difference. And all these can be done simply on your calculator. Okay. For explanation, I have written each and everything, and you can also write this down first. But for more questions, you can practice on your calculator. So on calculator, what has to be done? I am showing you here on the calculator. So first of all, you have done 1.06, press multiply and then equal to for the 2 times minus 1. You are getting 0.19 multiplied by 100. It is 19.10%. This is for compound interest. Minus 18% for simple interest that you have subtracted. You are getting 1.10. Put this in memory. Then 110.16 divided MRC and then press equal to. You are getting your result. You will get your result as 10,000. All right. So in this manner, we can calculate the principal. Varda Fatima says, in the previous question, 1.4 kaise aaya? See, in that question, the question said the population increased by 40%. So if the current population is P, that is in terms of 1, then 1 plus 40% becomes 1.4. 1 plus 40% becomes 1.4. All right. Then any more questions from anyone? So I think we have covered all the variety of the questions. Now, in case of any doubts in compound interest, let me know. So we can try one more here. That is question number 30. The annual birth and death rates per thousand are 39.4 and 19.4 respectively. So this is the annual birth rate and death rate. The number of years in which the population will be doubled. So we have to calculate that population will have to be doubled. So double, that means if it is P, it will become 2P. If we take 100, then it becomes 200. All right. So assuming that there is no immigration or emigration, that means nobody else is coming out of the country and going out of the country. So the population is getting doubled. So let us do this. The question says annual birth rate is 39.4 per thousand. So we can write here birth rate. Birth rate means number of births per thousand. So 39.4 are coming. Death rate 19.4. 19.4 are going. Then how many are left? 20 are left. 39.4 आए, 19.4 चले गए. कितने बच गए? 20 बच गए out of 1000. 20 per thousand. So this 20 is per thousand. If we have to make it in percentage, if we have to compute in percentage, then we can remove 10 from both the sides. We can remove 10 from both the sides. It becomes 2%. So this 2% is nothing but the growth rate of population. कि population किस rate से grow कर रही है? Because birth rate ज़्यादा है, death rate कम है. इसका मतलब population will grow. And किस rate से grow करेगी? This rate will be 2%. And population की requirement यहाँ पे क्या है? It is getting doubled. So in place of amount, we can write 2 times of P. तो original population P है, amount में कितना आ जाएगा? 2P. What is rate? 2%. So 1 plus 0.02 to the power of n. P and P got cancelled. So what is left? 2 is equal to 1.02 to the power of n. तो n की place पे हमें क्या रखें? So that we can get 2. What shall we put in place of n? So just hit and try on the calculator and get the result. 1.02 press into and then equal to, and accordingly you will get the result. जब तक आपके स्क्रीन पे 2 नहीं आ जाए, don't stop. So we are getting 1.998. This is nothing but 2. How many times it is coming? 35. So when we kept n as 35, we are getting the result. So 35 is the correct answer. All right. So we have covered a lot of variety. Then question number second. Shalini is asking about question number second. Okay. Question number second says 100 will become after 20 years at 5% per annum compound interest. So 100 is the principal. 100 is the principal. 20 year is the time and rate is 5%. So you simply have to calculate the amount. So just use 1 plus rate, that is 1.05, multiply and then equal to. And then multiply it with 100. So you are getting amount as 265.33. And how much is the compound interest? Subtract 100, you will get 165.33 as the compound interest. So the question is asking about compound interest, then it is 165.33. All right. Okay, Zeva says, Navneet says, please repeat once more the previous question. Okay. So the previous question was about the birth rate and death rate of the population. Birth rate means number of birth per thousand of population. So 39.4 is the birth rate. 19.4 is the death rate. That is number of people dying per thousand of population. So whenever there is a gap between the two, the population increases or decreases. If birth rate is more, that means population will rise. So here difference between birth rate and death rate is 20 per thousand. If we convert it into percentage, it will become 2%. So population will rise at the rate of 2%. So every year the population is growing 2%. So how many years it will take to become double? कितने साल लगेंगे पॉपुलेशन को डबल होने में? तो हमने पॉपुलेशन में प्रिंसिपल में लिया p, अमाउंट में कितना आ जाएगा? 2 of p. Rate is 2% and then we have to calculate the time. तो टाइम के प्लेस पर आपको कुछ वैल्यूज रखनी, क्या वैल्यू रखनी जिससे आपका रिजल्ट 2 मैच हो जाए. राइट. So 20 was the difference between the birth rate and death rate. So any more doubts? So all variety is covered here. Question number 8 is again of a scrap value. If you have to calculate the scrap value, then you can use the formula for question 8. The useful life of a machine is estimated to be 10 years. Estimated life of the machine is 10 years. Cost is 10,000. Rate of depreciation is 10% per annum. Find the scrap value. So scrap value is equal to cost, then 1 minus rate to the power of n. So what is cost? Cost is 10,000. Where 1 minus I. What is I? 10%. And the time period is 10 years. So now you can calculate. So 1 minus 0.1 is 0.9 and 0.9 to the power of 10. So press into equal to for 9 times and then multiply by 10,000. How much we are getting? 3486.78. This is the scrap value. That is option number A. So this is the scrap value of the asset of the machine. Then Ritika says when multiplying 35 times, we should take it as 36. No, equal to is pressing but 34 times. If you press equal to 34 times, n will be 35. Equal to is always one less. Equal to is always one less. So if n is 35, then equal to will be 34. Kirti is asking why do we calculate the effective rate of interest? Effective means the overall, what is the overall return we are getting? One is the fixed rate, that is the rate. But when it is compounding more than once in a year, that means we are getting more than that rate of interest. If the normal rate is 12%, but compounding is on monthly basis, that means we are getting return more than 12%, that is around 12.68%. So overall, how much is the return that is calculated using effective rate of interest? So effective shows the actual interest rate. It shows the actual interest rate. So it becomes 12.68. Just we did in that example. Then the last thing for today which we can do is to calculate the root. How to calculate root on the calculator? So let's say you have to calculate 2 root of 7. 7th root of 2. Or this can also be written as 2 to the power of 1 by 7. How to calculate 7th root of 2? Or we can say 2 to the power of 1 by 7. So first step is type the number whose root we have to calculate. So type the number on the calculator. So that number is 2. Then press root button. How many times? 12 times. It's always fixed. We have to always press this root button 12 times. This is the first step. Second step is subtract 1 from this. Third step, divide with the root. If you have to do the 7th root, divide with 7. If you have to do cube root, divide with 3. 5th root, divide with 5. Okay. Plus 1. And then the last step, press multiply equal to for 12 times and you will get the result. So it is a bit lengthy process. It will take around 20 to 30 seconds, but it is better than other methods which may take 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. So in this manner, we will be able to calculate any power. So let's try. 2, I have typed 2 and then press root 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. After this, minus 1. Done. Then divided by 7. Then plus 1. And at last press into equal to. Into equal to, this is one time. Into equal to for second time. Third, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So after doing this, we are getting the result 1.10409. So this is the result. So in this way, we can calculate the roots, whether it is cube root, fifth root, 10th root, any root you can calculate. So it will require some practice, and you can practice on any different numbers and get the result. Okay. So it will take simply 5 minutes to remember. Harmu says it would take 1 week to remember. No, it will take 5 questions to remember. Just try any 5 questions of your choice and try this trick on them, and you will get it learned. Okay. So I think we have done a lot of things today. Try to revise each and everything by your own, and in case of any problem, you can revise the session once again. Okay. So it was very nice to interact with you again today. So bye everyone, take care, and we will meet again in the next session. That is the last session of the chapter NUT. So that session is again one of the most important session of the chapter. So don't miss out that session. So bye everyone, take care, and see you soon.